They're talking about, I see it a lot on YouTube, that RFK stuff where he's talking about the glyphosate. I don't know how to say it really. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then you don't matter. Be ignorant. But anyways, they're talking about how every country in the world uses it, and they had this one person was talking. They look like they're a scientist because of their bluish white, their really light blue shirt, and they're just not wearing any makeup or anything. It's a girl, real plain appearance. Try to make you assume that they're a scientist and expressionless and the words that they say. I don't think she's a scientist. Maybe she is. I wouldn't say that makes it more believable, but I think that's the way it goes for most people is, oh, this person's smart. I'm stupid. But anyways, they're talking about how some countries have tried to stop it and they couldn't, and it's actually more dangerous because they just buy it on the black market because all the farmers are weak and they don't know how to grow plants. All of a sudden it's like, we can't grow plants. We put Brondo on it and, you know, it's what the plants crave. It's got electrolytes. We don't know. We don't know what's wrong with these plants. Everything's dying and drying up. Put a bunch of water, a bunch of Brondo on it, and anyways, we don't know what to do. We can't feed the world. Whole countries are gonna die because nobody can get the food. Well, the forest grows food, but we don't. Well, it is chemically sprayed and all that, so maybe they are fucking us that way too. I don't know. I don't notice it, but I'm sure it's going on. Anyways, the bugs and stuff don't eat the forest, and when they do, they eat it all and then they die, and the forest comes back, and it's a cycle. Everything's a cycle, except for us. We're trying to like create our own cycles. But if you buy your food from the grocery store, then you're fucked. You're fucked because it's gonna get more and more expensive. It's gonna be less and less real. More and more of these chemicals that they say that they have to use now. Ugh. When you're growing a whole field of this or that, you can't go down there and tend to each plant. But say you were doing it for your family, you could go and tend to each plant. You could address the soil and all that. It's all on a much, much smaller scale. Instead of feeding a nation, you're just feeding your family, and they all can work too. It's an unnatural way of life that we live right now, and to do things yourself doesn't mean that you'd have to give up on these technological devices. I mean, we already have them. What you need to do is, if you like it in your life, you need to understand it, how to make your own. Everything is it's not really a guess. It might be a guess to you, but the thing that you're doing is set in stone. You need to make food. You have to make food. food makes itself because everything is here doing its own thing. Because it was obviously crafted into that position. I'm not saying a person made any of this, because a person is made also. I think that whatever we are above this, I think it's quite possible that we all are one. Maybe there's different entities. I don't know. You don't know. This could be a dream. A dream. I don't know anything that any of you are thinking. I'm not positive that you are thinking in the way that I'm thinking. You're a character in a story, and I'm the observer playing a character. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure I could probably go into you and feel the life through you, through your puppet. But you see, that's not the way that you would understand it. You know, it doesn't really work like that. It's not an individual selecting this and that. It's more of, those are just parameters, and the person above us could be experiencing everything all at once. I mean, we don't know how they interact with anything, and we don't even really truly understand what we are. So how would you know how they interact with us? We could be a byproduct of something else. I think there's an infinite number of realities, because anything is possible, right? So if anything's possible, then everything's possible, and everything's been done. Because all you have to do is be able to think it up, and it's a thing. All these politics and things, I don't really think it matters. It doesn't matter who you vote for, right? They're going to change and flip, and everything's going to happen the way that it's going to happen. The world would be a horrible place if we didn't have any rulers and leaders. But the world's a horrible place because we have leaders and rulers. So you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. They could fuck it all up, and those people that own us and use all their surveillance and drones and everything like that, that could all get wiped out. All of their stuff could get ruined. EMPs are supposed to do stuff like that. Okay, so you got an AI. It's got a data center that's the size of a neighborhood. You know, it's got all these hard drives and servers and everything. That's so weak. What if that got hit by an EMP? What if it just lost power? It's gonna shut down, right? Okay. When the stuff ends, it just ends. They can power stuff up and have this big bad device that's powered by this thing, but an EMP would ruin it. We can have it shielded by this and that, and we got to get it there. It's got to get there. The things that we can do really are all limited by the things that they're created within, you know. I'm not scared. Okay, if they want to have a war and they want to come in and they want to invade this place, then, you know, what would you do about it? Nothing. You have to deal with it on an individual basis. What am I supposed to do? Go to Russia and be like, hey, could you stop attacking us? Or go to Iran and be like, could you stop attacking us? Or like, go to Israel, could you stop attacking us? Oh wait, now it's terrorists. Terrorists are everywhere. We got the Iranian cells. They're everywhere. They're in your neighborhood, just waiting to kill you. That's not fucking scary. Nobody's allowed to say anything to anybody else. The whole thing, we're all just being shaped. It's a group. Look at I left a comment on my latest video about, have you seen the movement of the 60s, you know, the hippies and all that stuff? That's how fucking they made that. People have been following and tracing the dots, connecting the dots, you know? Tracing it back, find out who's this. Look at this, they're related to them in this way. This way. These people know these people this way. They work together this way. You hear about things that you've never fucking heard about before, but they're all things that you could hear about. You could have heard about them, but they weren't talking about them because it exposes what they were doing. But now it's like there's so much information. Maybe the people that had a direct involvement, maybe they're gone. Maybe they moved on to something different and they're not protecting that information anymore and it's out. Maybe the information was lumped in with something else, but it's out. Maybe the information's fake and somebody else put it out because they want everybody to believe a certain way, but it's out. If you come to me and say that you have this problem and I don't address that problem, then I would be foolish, but you have to discern the problem yourself, I guess. Otherwise, you're still foolish. Somebody comes and says, the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. Get your guns and go in your basement. Okay, and you go in your basement and they're stealing your fucking TV. Something, they're parking a RV on top of the door. Now you're stuck in your basement. You're gone. You're done. All this stuff is, there's no fucking, I was a double agent. I was a this, I was a that. You're just fucking tricked. You have to build relationships. You have to know and trust people. And you guys don't trust me. Do you think I trust you? If you've ever been like, I don't know if I trust him, then you can imagine that I'm feeling the same way about you. He's crazy. I think you're crazy. I'm crazy for seeing the things that I see, and you're crazy for not seeing them. Who's fucking right? Oh, well, the things are just, they can all be explained. Yeah, but there's still the things that I see, and they could be explained in this way. And would you tell somebody if you were against them and you were doing something, and they started to figure it out? Would you tell them the truth and help them figure it out more, or would you try to deceive them more? You don't know how this place works. I seriously wonder who I'm talking to. Nobody, I mean, only a few people talk back. I'm thankful for that. Pieces in the puzzle. Everything is something. Or we wouldn't call it part of everything. You have to be something to be part of everything. What does it matter? I still gotta go to work. Do you? You would be, at this stage right now, I think you do still have to go to work, because if you left, you would be something like a homeless person. You could do things for yourself, like that you would need to do But everyone would see that as an infringement on them because you don't have the authority within the group to do these things. You know? So you're kind of stuck by the rest of the group to conform. But we have to start wiggling. The way that you get out of anything is you wiggle, you push your boundaries. You push your boundaries this way, you push your boundaries that way. These things weaken the bonds that hold you firmly. Yeah, you have to push against these things. You have to. If you guys just sit there and oh, well, I don't think there's anything I can do. There's not. But you can't give up. You have to keep pushing. Viruses aren't fucking real. I was talking to somebody last night, and I just kind of opened up. And maybe they were just being respectful, but I gave them ends. They agree. It's common fucking sense. It's common sense. Cancer can be cured by a placebo. A placebo. You can't even get cancer if you have a certain type of body chemistry. Boy, you can believe that or not believe it. It doesn't change the reality of things. You can test it. That's better than believing it. Why don't you test it? Why don't you go and look and talk with other people that have tested it? Find out their results. If you don't believe their results, if they don't seem right, then you're gonna have to do that test yourself. Do you have to have a test to know that something is gonna perform this way? Because everything is kind of related, you know? You do this and this always happens. I do this every day and I see it always happens every day. Well, it's the same principle as this over here. I don't have to do that over there. And if it doesn't work, then you go and you apply different parameters and see what changed. What is different than the way that it was when it always performs this way over here. This is just the way that your mind works. People that don't understand this or know this stuff have been put into this position by the suggestions that you take in and you take into heart. The people that helped you grow up, that would never harm you, that are, you're told, made you, they wouldn't deceive you on purpose, would they? And you want to think no, but it's not on purpose. They were deceived, and we keep getting taught these things, and we teach the, let's just call them bad habits. If I fall off of this or that, I have to fall down to the ground and I'm gonna get hurt. Okay, but those are parameters that you agree upon, and that's the way that happens. Or maybe you can fly, I don't know. Maybe it's impossible to damage your body. Maybe you just bounce. Maybe this or that. I don't know. It's all just whatever you agree upon, and I'm not saying that you could just think I don't want to die and then you're not going to die. It's in your subconscious. It's not what your conscious wants. If you don't realize that your conscious is different than your subconscious, then don't try to see any of these parameters, I guess, in a physical way. You're going to feel the repercussions that you subconsciously agreed upon. So don't jump off any buildings. I'm not saying don't harm yourself in any way. Don't do anything like that. But theoretically you really can't, and I don't want you to test it if you don't understand what I'm saying. Don't test it if you don't understand what I'm saying. All right, goodbye.